As the title suggests, today we're looking at two cafes. One is the Oarhouse, which has just opened, and the other is the Peninsular Cafe. Now, the Oarhouse is the one that we actually ate at because we could get a table there, and here's the location of the two of them on the river. So both of them have smashing views. They both seem to have great food, and I had a very nice breakfast and a great coffee, and I thought it was excellent. But we're not just here to talk about the food and the coffee and the view. We're also here to talk about bike parking because, this is a bike channel and we're interested in this kind of stuff. What's the parking like at destinations like this? Is it friendly for cyclists? Is this the sort of place you can ride to and spend your hard-earned money? And the answer is yes, you can, because there is a major bike path that goes kind of right past this place, both back doors of both cafes. The only issue with the bike parking here is in the Oarhouse's situation, it's out the back. And, there's a concrete pad, it's a nice secure thing, but you have no visibility over your bike. So the two of us just looked at that and went, nah, we're not parking the bikes where we can't see them. And we were actually in the majority because there must have been, in the end, about 15 people here with bikes, and they just left them lying all over this area or lent them up against something. It's only one person that used the bike rack, and for all I know, they worked there. There you go, lonely bike in the bike rack. And this was just before we left. You can see there's a little, pile of bikes there as well. And, people were coming and going on bikes all the way through. And as we left, a whole bunch of people turned up and lent their bikes up against the rowing sheds there. And in case you're wondering why it's called the Oarhouse, it's because, the Rowing Association actually has a lease over the land here. And Rob, the owner, gave us a whole spiel about the difficulties they've gone through over the last 5 years to actually build this building, because it actually was a public toilet, and they came up with this idea to build it. And there's the lonely bike rack once again. So, bike parking, yes. Secure, yes. Location, bad. But otherwise, everything's good. Now, let's roll back to the Peninsular Farm Cafe, which is where we actually went first. And I've ridden past this place many times, but it was a previous incarnation of it, and they renovated it last year, and now it's open. And I have to go back because they've got homemade scones with clotted cream and local preserves. And if you think I'm not going back for that, you've got rocks in your head. But the rest of the menu looks excellent as well. And as we were riding there, we're going, oh, God, there's a lot of parked cars along here. We've never seen so many parked cars in this street. This place might be busy. It had just had a write-up in the local paper. So I think every man and his dog turned up to check this place out because, it's been closed for so long. And it's a historic homestead which has been converted into like a national trusty kind of place. And I could go on about the historical stuff, but I've forgotten almost all of it. Just that you can actually come here and do tours of the buildings here, and it's all kind of settler stuff, blah, blah, blah. But the bit in front of us is the cafe that we're interested in, and it's really had a fabulous makeover. We stuck our head and went, wow, this place is just chalk and cheese from what it was before. A couple of cyclists dealing with a flat tire there. And we're trying to figure out, again, where to park the bikes, and also whether we could actually get into the place and what the menu was like. And we actually found the bike parking after looking for a bit. It was very cunningly disguised, and I actually had to outline it there because they'd put in these stand-up poles to, put your bike up. Really good, except they disappeared into the background, and if you didn't know what you were looking for, you probably wouldn't see them. And I think a lot of people didn't, because around this side of the cafe, they're all, I didn't get them in shot, but, there's a couple of the bikes, but there were, bikes all over this area, and you can sit on the lawn and get a pot of tea and all the rest of it. So we'll definitely be back, but probably during the week, when hopefully things are less busy. So yeah, Peninsular Farm Cafe looks really good. Beautiful views out over the water. Food looks really good. Yes, there's bike parking there. Yes, it's easily accessible by bike. And for goodness sake, why aren't councils in New South Wales, encouraging or, small businesses like this to put in bike racks, or council sticking in bike racks so that businesses can take advantage of people riding past? And look, you can see here this page was created on the 18th of January, which is 9 days before we visited. So, very new operation. I'm not sure quite, how slick they are yet, but I'll definitely be back in the next month to check them out. But as always, this is a shout out to councils like Europe at Alishire Council. Get some bike parking outside our cafes so that the locals and tourists can ride to these places, not worry about parking, and spend money. And also, the other thing is staff who don't have a driver's license, teenage, school kids, etc., who might be 16 and have a job in these places, can actually ride to work without mum and dad having to drive them. I mean, how good would that be for the labour shortage in the hospitality industry that we're facing at the moment? Is actually enabling people that don't have a car to be able to take jobs at places like these. But look, I'll certainly be back to both places. They were really good, and big thumbs up to both of them. Although I haven't tested the Peninsular Cafe, but I'll give it a provisional thumbs up in advance.